now or after the midday market report, please make sure to hit that like button as it'll greatly help push us through the analytics and it'll help push this through the algorithm. A share on social media would really do wonders for this channel. So if you're tuning in, I know it's early for the midday market report, but I am going to be busy later today. So I wanted to do my due diligence and go through the midday market report. This afternoon, I probably won't be able to come on, but I'm going to try to update everybody as diligently as possible here prior to Jerome Powell speaking and to see exactly what's transpiring in the market so far. Right now, the Dow, and let me timestamp this very quickly. Good morning, or good late morning, 10:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Chat, welcome in. Fletcher, good morning. Jorge, welcome in. Trading with J-Ride, yes, indeed. Hit that like button. It really does help a lot. The Dow Jones is down 16.56 or 0.05% at 36,561. If they cut rates today, look out and risk assets. If you see them cut rates, I have a feeling crypto would pump, the markets would pump, and what a perfect timing. Today is the 13th to have Bitcoin, altcoins do a little bit of a reverse rally here, hit some topside liquidity, and then when BUSD is delisted on the 13th, wouldn't it be a perfect way to now have that be a play and have them dump the markets if that's their plan? So either way, if they cut rates, look for an explosive move in risk assets. If they raise rates, with I don't think that's likely at all because the markets are pricing in a rate cut or staying pat at worst. But the problem is listening to everything Jerome Powell is going to say is going to be a lie. So you have to, diligently listen and don't get caught up in his faratos. But right now we've got the Dow Jones coming up to that first layer of resistance. That's the pivot point at 36,986. If we can break that pivot point, that is how we start to move up and out. So if we can get on top of that, then our first layer would be 39,816. We're on the top of a broadening wedge. We've shown support on it already. So it looks like we're going to continue expanding out towards the end of the year. As we know, end of year bonuses and for bigwigs, end of year stock price and Q3 earnings. So this is not a surprise to me or you. The DXY is up 9 cents or up to 103.89, only up 0.08%, pretty flat on the day. This is another one waiting for what the Fed's going to say. Or the Fed, it's not waiting for what the Fed's going to say, but the Fed's going to make their move after the speech. They'll take a look at the markets, and if they do a rate cut, well, it almost looks like they are because this is lining up for a dump. And if they cut rates, that's going to further put inflationary pressure because we're going to have less and less of a pull. So that's going to put pressure, downward pressure on the U.S. dollar. Even if they stand pat, you would assume that would put pressure on the U.S. dollar. Anything short of raising rates is bringing in a hyperinflation scenario, so even worse scenario. So this is pointing more of a dump than a pump, but don't be surprised if it did pump. I mean, you don't know, but these are reversal candles here, long leg dojis that are signifying pattern resistance, and it's at a very big resistance point. So would I be surprised if it came down? No. But with market manipulation, it's a tricky call either way. U.S. 10 years down 3 basis points or 0.69% to 4.17%. If they lower rates, you're going to see a dump in the 10-year. You will, because that means the Fed's going to buy it up. Derek Farrer, good morning. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in. JW, howdy, good morning, my friend. Hopefully everyone's having a blessed start today. JW, I hope you're having peace and comfort where you're at. But the government bond, it's coming down just like the 10-year. I mean, just like the DXY. I still think it's on its way down to try to, if it's going to hold here, make an inverted head and shoulders, if it has a chance. Otherwise, it could come down even lower, but I still think about 3.9% is on tap. And then we'll see if it does come through to about 3.7. Jose, welcome in. Watch, recycle, repeat. Watch the content, recycle it to friends and family, and come back and watch the next update. Repeat. Appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who made their way in this early morning as well. 30 people here, 29, 19 likes. Please make sure to hit that like button. You never know how many people are going to show up, especially when you come on at a much different time. So that's what I'm looking at there. The U.S. crude oil, this is WTI based in U.S. dollars, so U.S. crude or U.S. oil, at $69.12 a barrel, up 0.64% or 44 cents a barrel. This is right where they want it for year of end. Doesn't have any signs of slowing down, and it looks like since we expanded the pattern, instead of it just ending at 70, they'll probably dump this down to like $63.40. If they lower rates, I mean, risk on are going to have a party. Could gold and silver dump? I mean, in any scenario, you would think they'd both pump. But with the Fed, if they lower rates, I mean, you might get a lot of money dumping into like cryptos and government equities and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, what a good day for JW. He's got the day off. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. True, good morning. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great start to the day as well. For the gold silver ratio, we're continuing to move up. This doesn't mean that we're necessarily just going to keep falling. This could mean that silver is going to have a bigger move in store than gold. If we fall, it would fall faster. But if we move up, it could signify that gold is starting to pull up a little bit faster, and then silver would catch up. So we'll see which way it decides to go. But we have a very big resistance line coming up around 89 to 1. So we'll see how that plays out. Gold's flat, right around 1980 an ounce. Hasn't really done much. Still on the bottom side of this major uptrending support at about 2016 now. If we look at the 4-hourly, we do have a death cross looming. So, like I said, it looks like we could be having a push to risk assets here. And if that's the case, we're going to get what we want here by getting this down to about 1930 and then getting B2 gold. Hopefully, from what I'm seeing, it looks like this is about to push down. I am out now of B2 gold at $3 to see what happens. If it does come back up to $3.24, I have no problem buying it back. But as you all know, I'm looking to buy it at $2.40 if I can. And hopefully the Fed pushes everything upside down today. And I'll be able to get that exact buy. I barely profited anything. It was like, I don't know, a few dollars. But now I got the 3,600 or whatever it is on the side for dry powder. And I'm looking for that move. I'm looking for that move only because I have a sneaky suspicion the Fed's going to do something really ignorant today. And if they do, that would put a lot of risk on commodities, gold, silver for at least a day or two until the market understands what that actually means. So, but just understand that I told everybody I'd give you the heads up if I did. So $3, nothing major. Like I said, I wasn't looking for an up or down very quickly. I was just trying to make sure I was in just in case it did bounce off of here. But now it looks like it could bounce through. So now, if I were to buy it back, I would wait until $3.24 to the top side if it was going to attempt to break this again. Or I'm going to get my target down here at $2.40 this time. Either or, I couldn't care less which way. If it goes down farther, we're going to get a much better dividend when we first get back in as well. So just be alert. Be alert. Does that make sense? Does that make sense why I did what I did? Or do you understand anybody who's been following the B2 gold movement? And then I'm very happy to say I've got Fortuna Silver Mines back on here because if we do make this downward tug, I'll also probably put 1,000 into Fortuna Silver Mines as well. I thought I had missed it the first time around, and I wasn't going to buy it when it was over $4. But if it gets closer to $3, if it does make a pull, I'll show you exactly what we're looking at there as well. Silver, again, these death crosses came through. I feel pretty comfortable with selling B2 gold at $3. I'll be honest, because I do want that $2.40. I'm craving it, and I knew we should get a chance, but you always have to set yourself up just in case it goes up. But you're not looking to lose money either. I made like $65. Big deal. But I could have made like 400. But I'm looking more as a long-term investor. And the only reason I sold out was so that I could buy more at 240. It'll make up for itself on the way back up. But it's still, it's one of those things. Some people wouldn't even sell, but I look at it a little different. But yeah, for silver, same thing. I think we could still sneakily, I think if this plays out truthfully, I mean, if we just look at this, I still think $18 silver is not out of the question. Like, would you guys think it's out of the question? Well, maybe not 18, okay? Maybe not 18 just because of how far up we came. But would it be out of the question to retest some of these areas down here around like 2150? I can see it if they're going to cut rates. It would put a lot of pressure on right now. And I told you gold and silver market was speaking of something weird that was happening. And it looks like risk on might be the play here. Fortuna Silver Mine's beautifully corrected. I'm looking for it to correct more. And that's from a personal bias. I mean, a dream scenario would be somehow it comes down here, but that's not going to happen. The best we can hope for, in my opinion, we have a golden cross. Maybe it comes down to like $3.20 is what I'm hoping for. One more leg down. And then a quick reversal. I'm talking a quick reversal with gold and silver. Remember, 24 is going to be an explosive year. We can already see this big flag built on Fortuna Silver Mines. I mean, if you're looking at this logically, you guys can tell me if I'm onto it or if sound like an asshole. But I mean, honestly, this is what I would be targeting. And this is why I put it back in my focus. See how this comes down and it has to retrace somewhere. I'm targeting best case scenario. If I get this how I want, I would be able to buy Fortuna Silver Mine sometime. Let's line this up by around Christmas. At $3, yeah. If I could get this properly, $3. If I can get Fortuna at $3, if I see $2.99, I might just stab it. But, you know, if it gets close, I might take a shot there. Because that's on a big descending channel that it broke out of. And now it's retesting the breakout point. But in order to retest the top side of it, it's going to have to come down. So X marks the spot is approximately where... Okay, so I need to move it up then. Because you don't want to just be below it just because you want to get a certain number. So where would I target this? $3.15 is when I'd be like, okay, if it can hold this area, actually it's a little bit higher. $3.18. So that speaks to the X marks the spot. If this is going to bounce out of here and it holds $3.18, it should have a technical breakout to $4.37, which would give us a move of better than 35%. So that's at $3.25. That's what I'm targeting for Fortuna Silver Mines. Be aware though, Fortuna Silver Mines does not pay a dividend. So if I threw $1,000 in there, it got up there and it looked like it was being rejected, I'd take the $350, $400 in profit and then keep that for the next buy-in and just build it up. I might have more to put in later. I don't know. Can I look at ILV? I don't even know what ILV is, to be honest with you. If you guys appreciate my work, please make sure to consider hitting that like button. Share this on social media. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can always send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army, as I don't do any paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind. I don't hide any of my content behind paywalls. So that would be a blessing in disguise if anybody decides to pay it forward. If you're looking to trade crypto, you can look in the video description below. I have the exchanges I use with the lowest spot fees in the USA and abroad. You can always look at that as well. That does help. Especially if you're a trader. You can futures trade or spot trade. Don Jackson, welcome in. Good morning and welcome in for at least the last part of this midday market report. But Fortuna Silver Mines, we can see, is down about 8 cents. Well, it was, but it's picked up a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with commodities. If they say the opposite thing, commodities could explode today, and so could gold and silver. But that's why we're looking at it from two different ways. But I showed you where you should be looking at if it does make the reverse rally. I'm just setting up for the lower tug. But it might not go that way. You never know. With XRP, we talked about it in the morning update. It looked like a reversal candle was taking place. If they do cut rates... Oh, Canada didn't cut rates. So did they keep it the same? Cutting rates, keeping it the same difference. As long as they don't raise rates, it's going to be big for risk assets. It'll be big for risk assets. But I know anything aside from raising rates, it would be good for risk on. Oh, they held it, so they did not raise rates. Okay, so that's going towards that same angle. I didn't think there was any way that they were going to raise rates. So Canada stayed pat. Now we have to see what the European Central Bank does, the Fed, which most of them do the same thing. But sometimes, the Fed or the ECB likes to take the lead. But with XRP, we can see the death cross looming. I would expect with this announcement, especially if they hold rates, would anybody be surprised if it shot past the death cross, even if it was bearish, to get this retest up here at 65 cents for XRP? I wouldn't be surprised. It's putting in a reversal candle here, a bullish reversal candle in the 4-hourly as well. So, I mean, what does everybody think with XRP? And then I got to go. But do you think we're about to reverse back up? We've hit what looks like a triple or quadruple bottom. But it looks like it could do that. Otherwise, pay attention to in the next 4-hourly, if we get a rejection around 623, then we know it would just come down very quickly. 3-hourly, we need to pull above, which is going to be our next area to try to push up on. We've already had the death cross, so we have to see how we react at 6184, which we're quickly approaching that area now. As you know, this morning when I talked, we're at like the 605 or 603 level, but we talked about how it was putting in a doji in the 2-hourly, and the 4-hourly looked like it was going along the same lines. That 2-hour candle has already closed, and now that 4-hour candle looks like it is, and you can see the reversal taking place. Now, to confirm a reversal in the short term, we have to have a candle close over 6139 right now in the 2-hourly, and that would allow a bullish reversal on the 4-hour candle. So be careful if you're going short. Also be careful if you're going long, because at any point if you get stopped and beaten back down, you could get roped in just to see it get rejected at 623, and then it could come way back down. So, all right, awesome, True. So you're seeing the same thing as I am. That's a good thing. And you can see how we've had like this descending channel, I guess you could say, forming if you took it up from a little higher. I'm just choosing to keep it in the smaller time frame because you can see how that is a breakout attempt right now. And it looks like a bull flag as well set up there. Yep, I could see a reversal until the report as well. And what time's the report today? Is it 3 o'clock as usual? Are they releasing it at 3 as usual? I wish I could watch it live, but I can't because I'm going to be busy. So I'm doing my due diligence this morning, especially. Although I don't mind the midday market report a little earlier. It's a little early. But yeah, I think for XRP, at least for the next couple hours, it's looking a little strong here, actually. I know a lot of people are looking at it as very weak. These aren't weak candles. The volume's not very strong, but the sellers have been turned off here, so it looks like the trading bots are revving something up here. Maybe a quick profit for the big guys. So... But, the more times you hit these bottoms and you don't break through, the better chance there is. Look, we've had 1, 2, 3. The more chances we do that, the more odds are that we'll rotate up here, grab that liquidity, even if we need to come farther down, then rotate down to get through these very strong areas. Otherwise, you could see 1 support, 2 support, 3 support. This holds. You get a bounce, and what if you just rotate up? I mean, you could see this happening. I could see it happening. That's why I say, yes, that's the target on a breakdown, but remember the break up target. So it can hit you one way or the other. The fact that majority of money right now is going short because of the setup, it leads me to believe it's probably going to go long. I mean, I hate saying it, but that they always go the opposite of the money. Just like with Michigan versus Alabama, a lot of people, 93% of the money's on Alabama. Everybody believes it. Everybody thinks it. Everybody can smell it. Just don't be so sure that Vegas doesn't have something up their sleeves. You ever hear of the old take one for the team so that you can you can be in the right position at the right time? Suspend the coach 6 games, sign a little back-end deal. It's been too long for Michigan. They've got majority of money, weak teams in the SEC this year. It's a storyline. It's the best way to make money, and this would be the year to do it. So if you're betting on Alabama, be careful there too. I'm not betting on the game, even though I'm a Michigan fan. I just see too big of an optic there. 93% of the money on one side, just like here. Majority of money's going short. I would not be opposed to taking a shot here going long. I would have rather you did it at 603 than this morning's update where we were talking. But you could certainly figure something out here. And if it does break up to the top side, 65 cents would be a logical target. The first target, though, is going to be right firm here, somewhere around 623. So pay attention to that very closely. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Thank you all so much for tuning in. 43 people watching, 43 likes. Hopefully, this was able to give you a little clarity on the midday market report. And the last thing is Bitcoin. We see Bitcoin is reversed out of this little downward trajectory. And as we talked about this morning, it looked like we are going to come up and retest 42,663. We do have a bearish cross here. So we need to get back on top of this, have a nice little closure above here on the 4-hour time frame. I would like to see it above like 42,000. We're not quite there yet, but we'll see. So just pay attention to the markets, everybody. Thank you all so much. Have a blessed afternoon, and I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in.